another episode for you. New stuff to learn. It's been a couple days. I don't even remember what we did last time. That's kind of scary. Was it the one where we removed the recipes? It was. Well, today we're going to do something a little different. Today we are going to start on mobs. And I kind of anticipate that this is going to be a long one. A bit like the furnace. I mean, we can expect, double-digit episodes for this one because I want to kind of cover modeling, and I want to cover passive mobs, and I want to cover like monsters, but I also want to do something like a wolf, something that you can turn into a companion pet, like wolves or ocelots. We'll try to tackle that. I've been dipping into the vanilla code on how they do that, and I think I can do it. We'll see. We'll see as we go along. But definitely want to get started on mobs today. And what we're going to do today is we're actually just going to create a mob. We're not going to do any texturing. We'll come back to that probably next episode. I showed you guys the cyclops, so that's probably what I'm going to be working on. But I'm going to I want to get more into technique and kind of talk about what all that does. So it's my Resonant Rise server. Oh, goodness. Nope, that's not going to work. Right there. Just close it. Let's pull up Eclipse. I may have been working at this in the last day or two, so there's our recipe remover. Oh, I've been working on trying to figure out how to remove furnace recipes, and I'm still trying to figure it out. So, hopefully soon. So what are we doing here? Well, the first thing we want to do is we're going to create a new class. And I've actually just decided to put mine underneath the handler. So we're going to do entity handler, like so. Voila. And really what this is going to do is I just kind of want to make a class. It's going to make it easy for us. So then that way we can just call entity handler, right? We can come down here and we can say, oh, we're going to have an entities section, and we can just say entity handler dot method, whatever that's going to be named, right? And we can say this mob dot class followed by, the scary pervert, right? And that's all we have to do, and it pretty much does it. I mean, we will, we'll have to go in and build other classes to support that, but really, we're just doing each of these right here. Probably now I'm going to do a scary pervert mob. It's not funny, wife. I could make a mob of you. Be this great grotesque thing that rolls around and just barks orders at people. I will argue with you when I'm not recording an episode. So, will you please go away, please? It's a little King Julian for you. So anyways, now that that's done. So let's build up this entity handler class. We're going to say public static void, and what are we going to do? We are going to say that we are register entities, and in this we are going to have a class, and we are going to further reference that as entity class, and then we are going to have string, which is the name of our mob. So what we're going to do here is we're gonna try to automate this process as much as possible. So we are going to say int entity ID is going to equal entity registry dot find global unique entity ID, and we're going to say along, and we're going to name it X. And so this will actually be based off of the name. So really what we're kind of like how when you build a new world, right, you put in a seed, and it uses the characters and numbers of that seed, and it runs it through an algorithm that then generates your world. So that's really kind of what we're doing here, is we're using the name of our mob to kind of create this seed that we are then going to use to create colors for our eggs, right? You know, the eggs that we use to spawn them. So we're going to say random equals new random, and it's going to be X, because that is our inspiration. That's what we're referencing, and we're referencing X, and we're going to import this. Now you got a couple different options here. Make sure that you're doing java.util and not Scala. So random, right? And then we're going to say integer, lowercase, main color. And we are going to reference our random, I don't know why I just typed all that. We're going to reference our random code, and we're going to say next int times 16777,215. And really what we're going to do is we're going to do that same thing down here, except this is going to be our secondary color, so we'll just call that subcolor, like so. So what this does is it allows us to get two different colors based off of a random number coming out of our seed, which is the name of our mob. Pretty sweet, huh? Pretty sweet. So don't name your mob, don't name two mobs the same thing. So otherwise bad news. Entity registry.register global entity ID. And which one of these do we want? Int ID. Yeah, we want the top one. Move mouse. Let's just double click it. That'll be easier. So entity class, of course, is being brought in. Entity name is just name, and the ID is actually our entity ID. So let's copy that down there. Make sure we're pulling in the right stuff. Then we are going to have entity registry.register, spell right, register global balls. What am I doing? Register mod entity, and it is going to be our entity class, our name, our entity ID, and our instance that we've created. We should already have one of those. If you don't have one of those, you have gone too far. You need to go back episodes. Back to the furnace episodes. 64. This number represents how many blocks away it can be to spawn, right? So from you, it's 64. That's 4 chunks. So 16 blocks in a chunk. 16 on an X or a Z axis. We'll say 1. We'll say true. I'm pretty sure that this 1 is how many they spawn as. No, that's not true. That's not true. What is this? Tracking range, update frequency, send velocity updates. So we do want to send velocity updates. What does it say up here? Update frequency, the frequency of tracking updates. The range at which they will send tracking updates. So it looks like 64 blocks in the frequency. Is it 1 tick? Every tick they send an update? Well, I mean, if they're moving around and stuff, I guess that makes sense. What next? Entity list dot entity eggs, and we are going to say integer value of, and we want entity ID, and we're going to so comma new entity list dot entity egg info, and that is going to be the entity ID, the main color, and the subcolor. Voila. Let's tune that up. And it's already imported, so. Is it already imported? Entity list. Of course it is. Of course it is. Goofiness. Entity eggs is undefined. Did I just hit my entity? Save. What is it not like about that? Oh. Entity eggs dot put. Would. There we go. It likes that. So, first mob that we are going to do is we are going to say entity, pizza's done, entity handler dot register entities, and our class is going to be entity cyclops dot class, and the name will be cyclops. Now we're going to have errors obviously here. It's like cyclops, it doesn't like this because there's no class, so let's create the class. And we are actually going to put this under, where are we going to put this under? We do not have an entity class, so let's do that. Entity cyclops. So here's where we make a decision essentially. We're going to choose extends, and we can do entity mob, like so. And this means it's going to attack us. Or we can do this. And this means that it's not. Right? We're going to do this. For starters. So we're going to import that. We're going to have some a constructor that we need, and we're going to get rid of this par 1 bullshit because I don't like it. World. Get rid of that to-do list. I know I have stuff to do. You need to remind me. You don't need to sound like my wife. Nagging and shit. She's ignoring me. I don't blame her. I would too. So, we have a very, very empty class of our entity. We've got this going. Let's jump in and let's see if we get an egg. We should get an egg, and we should be able to use that egg. I still haven't finished building my house. I should do that. So let's go to our miscellaneous tab. You'll see all of these right here, but then we have this bad boy right here. And of course I didn't name it, right? Because I taught you how to name it, but I'm not naming shit after that. Now you'll see that we haven't rendered anything with these guys, so they just kind of walk around really slowly. Now if we change our game mode, because they're mobs, they will then begin to pursue us quite slowly. Look at him go. So intimidating. Oh yeah, get him. Get him, tiger. Yeah. These are really scary mobs. I like how they're just jumping all over the place. Although I don't think a cyclops would do that. Now you see they can hit me when they do a full heart of damage. So that's a little scary. Go back to 1. Y'all can't see me, punk. All right, let's give these guys a quick exit from the world. Goodbye. Bye-bye now. So, we have our egg. Sweet. So let's jump out of here. You like this? It's kind of on a little vista right here. This town that I'm soon going to subjugate. And then I got a lava pool over here. It actually set a lot of these trees on fire just being so close to it. Pretty sweet. Dead things. Alright. Let's book it out of here. And we're going to build a lot of this. I mean, the rendering aspect of it we're going to do on our own in Technique, but we're going to reference a lot of code. So we have this entity cyclops, right? And you have your entity, whatever it is. Let's go look at zombie code, right? So we will come down here to our reference libraries and forge source, and we're going to look for assets.minecraft.entity. No, that's not it. Entity monster. Yeah, let's look at zombie. Here we go. Movement speed, attack damage, follow range. There's something here about health, so I guess it's just a default health. But we'll get into this. So this is essentially a method that is in this class, and we're just going to directly copy and paste this over into ours. Right? And I'm not sure what this is. Set base value, this random, next double. Zombie second base chance. Goodbye. So we've got our follow range, essentially how far will it follow us from? How far away do we have to be before it starts following us? The movement speed of, a very, very specific number here. Casts a double, and then the attack damage. 3 double. What is this attack damage? Well, I can tell you that this is 1.5 hearts. This .get entity attribute, and this is going to be shared shared monster attributes dot attributes farfignugan dot max health, and we are going to set the base value of this to 20. Now, as a Minecraft player, we have 10 hearts, right? But each heart has half a container, so you could lose half a heart, true? Right? So technically, our health as a player is 20 double, because there's 10 hearts. Each heart has 2 values to it, half and then full, right? 20. So that's what we're going to set our cyclops to. We can also do, and we're going to just actually do this like so, and we'll say dot knocked backward resistance. So this is essentially how hard we can knock this guy back. And let's try a 5 double. I don't know exactly what these are going to look like, so we're going to kind of just tinker around a little bit with it. These are things that we put in our constructor right here. These are AI, right? So AI wander, move through village. We know that zombies, once they get close to a village, they all start cruising towards the doors, right? They will swim, move towards restriction. Not sure what that means. Let's see, movement speed part 2. Return space. Yeah, not sure. So we're not going to add any AI at this point. We're just going to do our basic attributes of this and have it in here. And you know what? I'm going to take this knockback resistance out. just because I don't want to get in too deep. So let's do this. And you'll notice, like, you remember how slow they were moving? You'll notice that they're going to be cruising now. Moving around quite a bit faster than they were. So you'll see that now, let's get some distance, so that way I can properly evade. Now you'll see that they'll chase you at a pretty fair clip. That's about the same as a zombie, I would say. Right? You give sweet XPs. I've leveled up. Yeah, what's my gear score now? My item level. Oh, that's the wrong game. So there you have it. Big things to do. We need to render this, right? So you saw how we rendered the block, right? We had this block, and then we needed to render it, right? So we went through all those steps. Where's the blocks? It's gonna be over here. It's gonna be over here. This guy, our little table. Put that there so we can have some tea later. We rendered this, right, with a render file, and then we went into our proxies to make that rendering happen. Tile entity obsidian table. Yeah, I know it's a tile entity, but it's not a tile entity. It's kind of giving me grief about that. I need to tune that up because you can't release a mod when it looks like that. We rendered it here. We're going to need to really do the same thing with our mob in here in terms of rendering it. After we render it, we have to, it's going to have arms and legs, but we have to actually do the math to make those arms and legs move. No joke. We have to make those move. Can I push this guy in the lava? Would that be a dick thing to do? Probably. Am I a dick? Indubitably. That was fun. Yeah, we've got to render it, and we've got to do the math to make those arms and legs move. Yep. And then we could do, I thought about tinkering around with giving them some special abilities. We know that the Hujima Widget, right? How do you say? Like, spiders can climb up walls, right? Do we want to make a spider pig that can climb up walls? Probably not. The spider pig thing's a little overdone. But you kind of get the point. Sky's the limit, really, on what we can do with this. So that's your mobs episode 1. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you need any help with your code, of course. I think you all have seen my email, neilgaming@gmail.com, or you can go to the forums at neilgaming.com/forums. Yep. Thanks all, and have a good night. I think I'm going to build the house now. Yep, I'm going to build the house. I'm going to stop the movie first.